For continuation of the Junior Biathlon World Championships, and the first of the head-to-head races coming up today. The pursuits for both the junior, the youth, the juniors in both men and women. So a busy day. We're going to be covering the junior events, the older of the two categories, 21 or under by December the 31st. And really some outstanding performances so far this week, particularly on the range. Noticeable that the standing of shooting dropped a little in the sprint events. That's the intensity, and that's it just puts a little bit of urgency into the athletes and just shows that if you don't control your pace, things can go horribly wrong. Britain's Scott Dixon, I think he fell into that trap trying to track one of the French skiers who was on very good form. He did that, he completed that part of the job, but then found he couldn't control the shooting at the end of it. And it is that difficult combination that makes biathlon so fascinating. So we're waiting for the start of the junior women's pursuit. 10-kilometer race in all, so 5 times round a 2-kilometer loop. It's short and sharp, and we've got 60 competitors. Let's have a look at the program for today, obviously starting with the biathlon and then off to the Nordic World Championships in Falun in Sweden. Nordic combined are busy today. Alpine skiing in Maribor with Matt Chilton. We've got luge from Altenburg with Martin Haven, and then off to Saalbach for the men's Super G. Nick and John on hand for that one. And then going through midday, of course, more luge, the second of the biathlon events from here in Minsk, and then alpine skiing and cross-country skiing, the qualification for the team sprint, two men and women in each of those teams. Second phase of the Nordic combined at 2:30. Ski jumping from Falun. Now that's a first. The mixed team event, 2 men, 2 women, and Germany, Austria, Norway, I guess, and certainly Japan have a chance of winning that one. So here's the start list for the women's pursuit. Lena Arnault, who was on very good form in the sprint event. She looked very good. Took full advantage of a good starting position. Number 36, so she'd seen quite a few of the big names going out before she started her run. And of course, cleared all the targets, which has been a necessity at these championships. If you want to win, you've got to be 100% accurate. Further down the start order, these women already 2 minutes behind the leader, and over a 10K race. That's an enormous amount to try and make up. It is possible. We have seen it in the past, but it's asking an awful lot. And one of the things I've noticed here is, okay, we've got some slow skiers, no doubt about that, but the top 30 are pretty much skiing within 30 seconds of each other on each of the races. And so it's even Stevens in terms of ski speed, and it comes down to who can control things, control their mind, and obviously control the aim of the rifle to hit the targets. There's Arnaud, big moment for her, starting first. The French well-trained. They've got a limited budget or a reduced budget for the youth level this year, and consequently only 1 athlete in the women's youth events, but they've got a strong squad at junior level, and certainly this is when they start to develop into elite athletes. "10 kilometers, 60 women. It's not quite a mass start, it's a chasing start depending on their result from the pursuit, and it's France who will head the way. Lena Arnault goes first. Vishnaskaya of Kazakhstan, very quick in the sprint. She starts second, just 2 seconds behind, and then Chloe Chevalier, the sister of Ines Chevalier, who we've seen on the World Cup, she starts number 3. Marta Heinrich is 4. Lynn Persson of Sweden, 2 Swedes actually, 5 and 6. Persson and Magnusson, let's see if they can do something, that would be nice. A long time we've been waiting for the Swedish juniors to make their mark. Lisa Vitosi of Italy starts 7. Keep an eye on her. Is that bib number going to be lucky for her? She's certainly got the potential to win, but she's got to make up 42 seconds. Zurovok, who won the individual, goes 8. Aita Gasparin, the sister of the other 2 Gasparins on the World Cup tour, goes 9. And Yakovleva Well, Yakoulova goes number 10 for Belarus, and Anu is underway. That 2-second margin isn't much. Those two will almost certainly team up. And I had a look at all the ski speeds. Anu was second, Vishnevskaya was fourth, and they were only a couple of seconds apart in the 7.5 kilometer sprint. Starting at 30 seconds is Mari Heinrich. Started 6th yesterday, took full advantage of that. Lynn Persson, straight out, breaks to the left, gets in behind the German. Absolutely the right thing to do. And she seems to be getting quicker as time goes on. Magnusson starts ahead of Vitosi. I don't think Vitosi will need the assistance of the Swede. She'll try and get straight past and start to close the gap on the race leaders. Zurovok and Gasparin away. Yakoulova is also underway, number 11. That is Mershakina, who was 7th in the individual. Now, she's worth watching. Kaisheva, likewise, starting number 12. She's very quick, took the bronze in the individual last year in this event. Lena Heike of Switzerland, the fastest out there, starting 13. And then we're looking at a margin of over a minute between the starters and the finishers. We're already at 123, 124. And then there's going to be a little bit of a break. Yislava of the Czech Republic goes at 130. Slivko of Russia goes at 141. Slivko number 22, second left from your screen. And looked as though Chernavoy jumped it a little, but actually they had the same starting time. So I think Slivko just slow off the mark, maybe feeling that it would be wise to get in behind the Frenchwoman. That might be a good tactic. Belarus, their best chance, the host nation. Yakoulova, they'll be watching, number 10. And they wait, and they wait, and they wait, and there'll be a wave going off at 4 minutes. So 52 through to 60 will all start on the 4 minutes. Now, it's a 2-kilometer loop. It's going to take them under 6 minutes to ski that. And so those at the back end are only going to be 2 minutes clear of the race leaders. The race leaders, obviously, the fastest. We're going to see quite a few athletes being lapped, to be honest. Chloe Chevalier from the Seven Lakes Ski Club. And the relevance of that is where Dorin Habert is a member as well. Dorin Habert now the #1 Frenchwoman on the World Cup Tour. In terms of favour with the coaches, she will be the one getting the group that she wants to ski in at the World Championships. And a remarkable story that is. And great to see Dorin Habert on the podium up in Oslo, the last of the World Cups. Well, how about this for fan numbers for a Junior World Championships? This is something that most of these athletes will never have seen before. Those who've experienced the World Cup, those particularly who went to Novo Mesto this year will know what it's all about. But most of these juniors will never, ever have seen a crowd as big as this. They're not the loudest crowd, but they're there, and they're giving a huge amount of support to the Belarus athletes, as they should do. The Raubicci Stadium last hosted the IBU World Championships back in 1990. A long time ago. Facilities here are good, and the athletes delighted that the conditions have got a bit colder. It's been very, very soft, and certainly the British team were caught out by the warm conditions early on. Their skis were prepared for the cold, and the weather switched quite quickly, went warm and wet, and when you get the skis that badly wrong, it really makes a misery of things. And it's a real shame, because they put in some good shooting performances early on in this tournament in the individual events. Scott Dixon still managed the top 18. He was aiming for top 15, so only just outside that. But I'm pretty sure if he'd had a good pair of skis on his feet, he could have been right up there with the top 12, top 13, and that would be a fantastic result. Dropped down a bit in the sprint with some poor shooting. He'll be racing this afternoon. He will get a start in the pursuit, but he's going to be a long way back. So, Arnaud coming in for her first shoot. 0-0 in the sprint. She missed 3 in the individual race. She went 1-1-1-0. And so, another 4-shot race. Will she be able to make sure of all 5? The 2 most important shoots. The first one, to build your confidence. The last one, to give you a good finishing position. And that's where most people miss. So, here we go. First to strike is Wisniewskaja. No time wasted in preparation. And again, some would say time in preparation is never wasted. Martin Fourcade would certainly be amongst their number. So 5 out of 5, Wisniewskaja of Kazakhstan going into a clean lead, and she will be at least 20 seconds clear. Chevalier could well move up into second place. It's a slow shoot from Chevalier. Nothing like we saw in the sprint yesterday. An extra breath, I suspect, in between each round, but she, like her teammate, has thrown one wide. So Wisniewskaja could well find herself 45 seconds, 50 seconds clear of the nearest rival. Now watch Vitozzi of Italy. 4 out of 4 so far for Vitozzi, and number 5 goes down. She's going rocketing up the order. She started number 7, and I think she's going to be up into the top 4, certainly. She might even come out in 3rd place. Heinrich of Germany has done 5. Vitozzi is into 3rd. Persson, who started 5, goes up into 4. Zurevok, who won the individual, has cleared the first 5, and Chevalier of France dropping down to 5th place, having started in 3rd. So all sorts of changes. Arnaud actually very quickly round that penalty loop, limits the damage to 22 seconds. Hendel of Germany, good shooting from the Germans so far, not so far from Slovakia's World Cup skier Fialkova. She'll be really disappointed. That's a poor start, but in the pursuit, never ever give up. You're not quite sure what's going to happen at the front of the field. Hendel comes out in 9th position, having started 15th. So that's a pretty good gain from Hendel. And that's what happens if you hit 5 and you don't waste too much time on the range. Chevenoy of France manages to do what Arnaud and Chevalier couldn't, hitting 5. And Miterai, the winner of the individual event, misses 1, so she's going to drop down. Slivko makes sure. Slivko started 22, so let's see how far up the order she can go. Aita Gasparin, she's lost a couple of places. There are the top 10. Wisniewskaja has leapfrogged ahead of Lina Arnaud and gained a 22.2 second advantage. Now Arnaud pretty much came off the range at the same time as Wisniewskaja, and she's only 22 seconds behind. That's a remarkable speed round the penalty loop. Well, here you see some of the later starters. Their bib number obviously indicating the position they started in. It doesn't give you an idea of how far they were behind at the start, but I can tell you that the first... Well, what do we got? The first 12 all started within a minute of the leaders in this race. And we had 30 athletes starting within 2 minutes. Number 24, for instance, Trifanova of Belarus started 1:45 off the pace of the leaders. I think the Belarus team have done pretty well. I think they've done exceptionally well. And I wonder what we're going to see in the future. I was speaking yesterday about some research the French did. I don't know how in-depth it was, but they looked at results at senior level, and they found out that at major championships, all those who got on the podium had at some stage finished in the top 10 as a junior. And there was a very strong correlation between those things. Okay, of course there are athletes who don't develop until a little bit later on, but just about all the big names on the podium at World Championships have done well at junior championship level. I was reading the list of the men's yesterday. Let's just give you an idea who's won this event before. Sleptseva, Neuner, Gusner, Boyi, Vera. Names you remember? Certainly. Sloof, now there's one that might catch you out. Sloof of the Netherlands won it in 2012, and actually she went from 8th in the sprint to winning the pursuit and adding that to the gold that she took in the individual. Now she hasn't quite cut the mustard, as they say, at senior level, but let's give her another couple of years, because as we saw the other day, sometimes it's 7 years after the junior level that you really show your best form on the World Cup. Good shooting from Wisniewskaja. She's cleared 10 now, and now it's on to the standing shoot. But Wisniewskaja hit 10 out of 10 in the sprint. That's 20 shots in succession. She only missed 1 out of 20 in the individual, so a really good record. Vitosi misses her first target. Arnaud of France misses 1 on the first shoot, 2 on the second. Persson of Sweden, oh, she's going to give away a few places with that mistake. And the French found wanting, I think, a little bit today. They were shooting well. They've had a mixed bag of results. Some races they're not going so well. Other races, they've struggled to miss a target. Is it anything to do with that breeze blowing slightly left to right, slightly from the targets towards the firing point? A lot harder to judge than one that blows across, directly across the range. Simon of France, she clears all 5, that's better, but there's not so much pressure on those further down in the field. This is Merkashina, that's good. Well, a really good performance from Wisniewskaja. 22 ahead after the first shoot. She's now almost doubled that to 43.5. Henrik of Germany, Vitosi's gone from 7th to 4th to 3rd. Despite a missed target, she's still only 45.7 behind. So could be on for her first medal of these championships. Remember, Vitosi was the dominant athlete in the youth championships last year. She won 2, she got silver in the 3rd, and everyone was expecting her to do something similar here. But she'll have 2 years at this level. And maybe next year she'll come and bag a haul of medals yet again. I think that's highly likely, and especially with the likes of Oberhofer and Vera doing so well. Vitosi, of course, has raced World Cup this year. Chloe Chevalier, number 3, just ahead of Hanna Öberg of Sweden, who's had a good day out so far. That's a good progress for the Swede. Number 2, Galina Wisniewskaja. Well, I didn't think it would be long before some of the athletes being looped. That's Talviti of Finland. And number 57 is Vainlo of Estonia. They all started in the 4-minute wave. And you get some idea of just how strong Wisniewskaja is. Those other athletes are not slow. They're still lapping... well, they're completing every kilometre in around 3 minutes 5, between 3:05 and 3:10. Wisniewskaja is well under the 3-minute mark for each kilometre. Zurovok of Ukraine, 54. Now that's a good gain, as she got her eye on another medal. She, of course, took gold in the individual, shot 20 out of 20 then. And Zurovok has cleared all the targets so far, and that's not a bad gain, is it? So 54 behind, just trying to see exactly where she started. 47, so she's made no gains on Galina Wisniewskaja. Actually, she's lost a few seconds to Wisniewskaja, but she's gained 4 places and now knocking on the door of a podium finish. Just a 2-kilometre loop, so just looking at the time, they left the range at 11:30. So She's lapping at well under 6 minutes a loop with the shoot as well. So this is an impressive performance, and trying to turn her silver from the sprint into gold. Now, don't be surprised if that happens, because this is what she did last year. She is the defending champion, of course, in the pursuit, Wisniewskaja. She went from second to first. Today, she started in second. She's currently lying in first. Now, when Podjefarova won it in 2013, she went from second to first. When Boyi won it in 10, she went from second to first. The same for Gusner in 2009. And actually, over the last, 8-9 years, the only person who has started outside the top 2 and gone on to win is Jardine Schloef of the Netherlands. Wisniewskaja doesn't look as though she's going to give anyone an opportunity, but there is the first mistake. First sign of nerves, perhaps. Well, she's still going to hold the lead, because she started this third lap with a lead of 43 seconds. That should cost her roughly 15 seconds. On she goes at 17:05. Hopefully we'll see her come off the firing point. Vitosi and Heinrich locked in battle for the silver and bronze at the moment. Slightly stiffer breeze from the left, as you can see. That's a feature here. So, 21 seconds. Well, that's a very quick loop indeed, when you consider that in previous days it's been taking 26, 27, 28 seconds to get round the penalty loop. The harder, colder conditions making a massive difference here today. So, Heinrich is clear. Vitosi, just in case you missed that, missed 2 targets. And Zurovok makes it 15 out of 15. Simon of France, 15 out of 15. At the moment, we've got 3 athletes who've shot the perfect score, and they've all gone up into the top 5. The most impressive gain coming from Julia Simon, 18th up into 5th position. That's, well, in fact, she's now gone into 4th, so that's a really good effort from her. Just 34 seconds behind, and she started the day 1:15, so I think she's probably the fastest out on the tracks at the moment. So France, having won 2 medals in the sprint, would be very disappointed not to take one in the pursuit as well, and it looks as though it may well be Simon who comes through to do that. Chevalier at last has got her shooting together. She clears 5 on the first stand. Chevenoy, her teammate, does exactly the same. Sandhagen of Norway, 3 misses, game over. There was a quick shot of Aita Gasparin, 4 out of 5. Well, I must say, it's nice to see the World Cup skiers here, and it's nice to see that those on the World Cup do not run away with these events. It's not that easy. The standard here is absolutely superb. Well, I think the fans have enjoyed what they've seen today. We've had a medal from Belarus. They could do with another one, just to raise their spirits. Is it going to be possible today? I don't think so. They haven't got anyone in the top 20 at the moment. And having had Yakalova starting up in the top 10, she's faded somewhat. That is definitely not the story for Wisniewskaja. Let's see what the margin is. Remember, she was 43 ahead after the second shoot, and despite missing a target, the margin is still substantial. 30 seconds or so. Might be a little bit bigger than that. And this gets confusing when they're lapping so many athletes. Number 8 going through in 3rd place, that's Zurovok. So she looks as though she's on for her second medal of the championship. Simon will want to say something about that. Number 18, Julia Simon, starting 18th, up into 4th position, 39. Only 10 seconds off the podium with 1 shoot remaining. Surely someone is going to crack on that final shoot, and we'll see a few more changes. Number 5, that's Lynn Persson of Sweden, 0-2-0. So after a bad second prone, she's recovered well to get herself into the top 5. Vitosi, 2 mistakes on the last shoot. Has that ruined her chances of taking an individual medal here at the Junior World Championships? I think it might well have done. She's 106 behind, 1 shoot to go. There might be a meltdown at the front, but I certainly wouldn't be putting any money on it. 16, that's Hannah Öberg, who's a lap ahead of Palasek of USA. Well, it's a busy time on the penalty range, and Pietia Lasak just coming out. So over half a lap behind the race leaders. This is the fight for 6, 7, 8. Vishnevskaya there, the race leader. Galina Vishnevskaya, and down into shoot for the final time. One more clear shoot, and the gold medal is hers. A repeat of last year. Silver in the sprint in 2014, gold in the pursuit. Silver in the sprint in 2015, and it is looking like gold in the pursuit as well. Nice to see the Union Jack there. 4 men racing in the junior sprint yesterday. I'll try and update you with those who've qualified. Scott Dixon's gone through. He's around 43rd position after the sprint. He was really disappointed with that. Had been hoping for top 30. The individual's his best event at the moment. But he's a young man, and as he builds ski speed, he's certainly got the potential to be in the World Cup points in years to come. Well, there's the second mistake from Vishnevskaya today, and she missed the first one just as she did in shoot number 3, but made sure of the rest. So, game on. This is not a foregone conclusion. 23.7 seconds, the margin coming into this shoot. And if Simon, Zurevok or Heinrich can shoot 5 out of 5, and pretty quickly, they can't afford to wait. Heinrich going best at the moment, 4 down, 1 more to go for the German, and it falls. Zurevok does the same. We have a race for the line. Julia Simon, who's been absolutely perfect to this stage, misses 2 on the last shoot, and the race leader is now down in 3rd. And we have a sprint for the line. Will it be a tactical ski, or will Vishnevskaya try and break away from the other 2? My goodness, that is just the perfect situation for spectators. Vitosi of Italy, what a shame about shoot 3. Vitosi 0-1-2-0. Well, she is quick. She is quick, but I'm just waiting to see the margin. She's 57 behind. She's not going to catch the race leaders. Look at Heinrich go. She's laid her cards on the table early on this loop. And most of the climbing done on the first half of the loop. And the last 800 meters pretty easy on this course. So if you can stay with the leaders up to that point, you could be in the money. Merkashina goes 5 with 5. The margin's getting bigger and bigger. Apologies, I said Vitosi was 56 behind. She's actually 26 behind. Heinrich looking over the shoulder. Was that a sign of weakness? I think it might well have been, because the climb goes on and on and on, and they've still got some way to go. But Heinrich certainly looking the strongest at the moment, having started in 4th position. Well, she would deserve a win, Heinrich, because if you were with us yesterday, she started early on. She started number 6, and she set the pace for everyone else. Germans have been... Heinrich might be about to put that all right with her performance, and currently just a couple of meters ahead of Zurevok and Vishnevskaya. Well, the margin is growing. Heinrich is number 4, and the majority of this field are going to be lapped before the end of this race. And Heinrich's just got to be a little bit careful as she works her way through the field. She's now got a 20-meter lead over Galina Vishnevskaya, who's paying a heavy price, not just for missing targets, but that extra energy going into the penalty loop has cost her severely. Once again, The athlete with the perfect shoot leads, and in fact we could have 2 clear shoots on the podium yet again. It's been extraordinary here. I can still only think of one event where the winner has not hit all of the targets. Lisa Vitozzi, 4th place when we last saw her, and she's still in 4th, 35. So from 26 seconds, she's dropped to 35 behind, and she's not going to challenge for the medals today. 3 misses in all, take them away. Take one of those shots away, and Vitozzi would almost certainly have been on the podium. And I think if you'd given her a 10-second disadvantage coming out of the last shoot, Vitozzi would have been able to match Heinrich, if not better her, on the last 2 kilometers. But she's too far behind. I think the will to win has gone. Chevalier in 5th position at the moment, ahead of Persson, who started number 5, lying in 6th at the moment, but a chance to get back up into 5th position because she's having a good fight with Chevalier of France, who started number 3. Well, Neuner and Gosner have both won this event in their careers. Back in 2009 for Miriam Gosner, 2008 for Magdalena Neuner. And as you know, both of them have gone on to win World Cups. And I wonder whether that is coming for Mary Heinrich. She's looked very solid. She's looking strong now, still pulling away from the rest of the field, and she has broken Vishnevskaya for good. There's no comeback for the Kazakhs on this occasion. She's going to have to settle for silver and bronze. No repeat of last year. 100 meters to go for Heinrich of Germany, and Germany getting their first gold of these Junior World Championships. A really good effort from Mary Heinrich. 20 out of 20 on the range. The secret to success is accuracy. Well done to her. Vishnevskaya and Zurovok involved in the fight early on this loop, but it's Vishnevskaya who's proved the strongest in the last few hundred meters. She gets silver, exactly the same as she took in the sprint. She threw away that gold medal. She was 43 seconds ahead after just the 2nd shoot. 0-0-1-1 for Vishnevskaya. She won't be happy with that. She only missed 1 in the individual, 19 out of 20 in the individual, 10 out of 10 in the sprint, and 18 out of 20 in the pursuit. That's not bad, is it? So 3 medals for Vishnevskaya, 2 silver, 1 bronze. Vitozzi is going home at the moment with nothing unless the Italians can do something in the relay. But a disappointing meet. But remember, Vitozzi will be racing at junior level next year. And I think we're going to see her stronger and faster and hopefully a little bit wiser. I think she was just lacking experience and knowledge how to cope with the pressure situations. Chevalier 5, Persson ends up in 6, never managed to close that 2-second gap on the Frenchwoman, and Julia Simon, who was there for a podium, finishes down in 7th, having missed 2 on the last shoot. Good gains from number 23, that's Chevenoy of France, and she's gone from 23rd up into 10th. And she's hit 19 out of 20. Had she hit the very last target, she would have found herself up in 6th or 7th alongside her teammate, Julia Simon. First of the Norwegians across the line is Rosen, started 20, so she'll be happy with that. 18 hits out of 20. Yuliana Kaisheva of Russia, I pointed her out at the beginning as one of the fastest athletes here, and generally you need a bit of speed to be able to win a pursuit, but she has missed 5, and she's still less than 2 minutes off the pace of the leaders. She started 12th, finished 12th, despite those 5 misses. And apart from Aita Kasparin, who missed 6, those are the worst shooting scores out there. Hannah Urberg made good gains early on. She went and missed 3 on the last shoot, and that pushed her down. Well, when did you last see someone take a fall in the finishing straight? It's not very often you see that. That was number 30. Thought it was number 36 for a minute. That's Gabulova for Russia. 2:41 behind. She missed a couple of places. Good sprint coming in between cadaver on the right of your screen, and number 22, that's Slivko of Russia. Slivko must have missed a massive target. It started well for Slivko. She'd made good gains initially, but then missed 3 of the standing targets, so adding an extra 450 meters to the distance to be skied, 4.5%. It's easy to work it out. You can see just how expensive that is. And actually, Vishnevskaya with 2 misses, 300 meters, so 3% added to the distance. She's good, but she's not good enough to make up for those sort of mistakes. Only 2 of the 60 with the perfect shoot today. I can see 3, 4 with 4 with just 1 mistake. That's pretty good at pursuit level. I wonder whether the men can match that. The men's race, I think, will be a little more frantic in the early stages, and that generally leads to mistakes on the first and second shoot. We had a lot of women going clear, at least 15 hitting 10 out of 10 in the prone. Well, another little fight going on. Mitarai, who took the silver in the individual there in the Polish colours, wearing bib number 27, second in this group as we see Lena Heike. Now, what happened to her? Heike is another one of those who should have been able to make good ground. She started 13th. She's finished down in 28th position, and Heike missing 10% or 50% of the targets. 3-3-3-1. She knows what she needs to work on in the summer. She's quick enough to win at this level, and she's quick enough to hold her own in the World Cup. But with 10 mistakes, 50% of the targets standing, she's in trouble. It's not the worst score, though. Wako Kudo has missed 11 down the back end. She's not had a huge amount of training with the rifle, so that's understandable. Let's point out some of the good performances on the range. Bandik of Poland hitting 18 out of 20. For her, that's very good. She started number 53 and got herself out of the top. Well, got herself into the top 50 with that shooting record. Tomingas of Estonia, much improved shooting from her, 0-0-0, but then missed 2 on the last shoot, so that's a little unfortunate. Stuce of Austria, 19 out of 20. Susanna Hoffmann of Austria, 19 out of 20. They've done really well. That's an impressive performance, and one to get some encouragement from. They've actually gone from 32nd to 15th and 25th to 16th. So the Austrian juniors looking very good. I've been impressed with them so far, and there you can see Fankhauser down in 35 also for the Austrian team. Well, 2 more races today, of course, with the men's youth sprint and the women's, well, the men's youth sprint and the men's junior sprint. We've had both the youth and junior for women. And I can tell you that Norway getting another gold earlier on today with Tandrevold, Ingrid Landmark Tandrevold, who has medalled a couple of times at these championships. She's looking very promising indeed. So there you see the standings at the finish. Marie Heinrich it was who came from 4th up into 1st, and most of the damage done on that last shoot. Came out of the range with Vishnevskaya and Zurovok, but out-skied them convincingly on the last 2 kilometers. That's a very good gain to make, 15 seconds. Never really looked in danger. Vishnevskaya, silver to add to the silver and bronze that she's already won from the sprint and the individual event. Further down, Kasheva, very quick, but not very accurate today, so not making an impression on the top positions. The same happened to Lena Heike. There you see those 10 penalties, and she ends up 4:15 behind. So she's added 1,500 meters to the distance skied, and that's far too much to be able to contend with. 15% added to the distance for Heike of Switzerland. So congratulations to Marie Heinrich of Germany. Well, sadly, we've not got time to air the youth pursuit. I will bring you the results when we come back for the men's junior pursuit at 12:30 Central European time, so 11:30 in the UK. 3 hours time from now, we'll be on air 4 or 5 minutes before the start of that race. British representation, of course, with Scott Dixon, Callum Irvin, and hopefully things will go well for them. Alpine skiing coming up next with Matt Chilton. Do stay tuned for that if you can. Should be some exciting racing there. And of course, as I say, we'll be back at 11:30 with the men's junior event pursuit over 12.5 kilometres. Hope to see you then. But for now, from myself, Patrick Winston, goodbye. See you later.